Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 3 of Chemist Warehouse WNBL action. We're in Townsville for game 3 on this Super Saturday, and it's the bottom of the table Bendigo Spirit up against the ladder leaders, the University of Canberra Capitals. And although it's a bit lopsided in terms of ladder positions, Bendigo have certainly been playing with a lot of spirit, pardon the pun, and great venue there up in Townsville, and can't wait for this one. Joining me in commentary is Bianca Dufelmeyer. And Bianca, as I mentioned, ladder positions don't really tell the full story. Bendigo have been very good so far this season, despite not notching a win yet.
No, they have. They definitely play with a ton of heart, a lot of energy. They give it a good hard crack. So, you know, we did see that almost upset a couple of nights ago between Perth and Canberra. So, you know, we could potentially see something similar again tonight.
I suppose the problem they face is Canberra are absolutely star-studded. I mean, we talk about the Southside Flyers and how deep and talented their roster is, but these are the champions. They're the two-time defending champions, and you know that you probably have to get through Canberra if you're going to go all the way. And when you look at Kelsey Griffin and Mariana Tolo and some of these players, they have got experience and talent. And then 18-year-old Jade Melbourne steps up, and she's just been enormous. Gosh,
she's been great, hasn't she? You know, she's a rookie, but she's not playing like one. She's playing like she's already made her statement on this league. It's incredible to watch. And like you said, Canberra started out this season without Kelsey Griffin, Talia Bayer and Brittany Smart, and they've made their way into the lineup, and Canberra just gradually getting better and better and better. It's really exciting to watch.
She just plays beyond her years, just 18 years of age, hard to believe. She's committed to Arizona State University, and there we see her nailing that one of her triples there from the other night. And when the big moment was needed to be taken, it was Jade Melbourne, the 18-year-old youngest player on the court, just her 7th game. It's just incredible to believe, playing in her 7th game of WNBL, and she's not afraid to take that clutch shot and get the job done for her team.
Yeah, and that, you know, that also goes to her teammates that have instilled that confidence in her as well, to be able to take those shots as a youngster. So, you know, that's awesome all around.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the Spirit starting 5. Mary Golding at guard, along with Amelia Todd-Hunter, the veteran. Shavana Palvast as well. Carly Ernst, she's been very good, very dangerous from deep, of course, and can play inside as well. So they've got a deep lineup there. Tessa Lavey as well, adding a bit of experience. So they'll need Todd-Hunter, Ernst and Lavey probably to do most of the damage. If we look at Canberra now, and this is star-studded. You've got Jade Melbourne, the 18-year-old, running the point. Abby Cabillo, Madison Rochi, who was really good the other night and came up with some big plays when they needed some. Mariana Tolo, of course, the veteran, and then Keely Froling as well. So you just bring off Kelsey Griffin off the bench. Not a bad little injection into the lineup there, just to bring in one of the best players in the competition.
Yeah, no complaints if I'm Paul Goris. You know, you have Kelsey coming off the bench, who right now, the past 3 games, she's had a double-double in points and rebounds. She's just a workhorse, and I don't see her slowing down anytime soon. All
right, we've got Braden Hesselhurst with us on the sideline. Let's head up and check out what's happening up there. Braden, good evening.
Good evening, guys. It's exciting to be here, and even though it shapes up to be a big game tonight, even though it's between the first place UC Cats and the bottom of the ladder Bendigo Spirit, the UC Cats have struggled more against the lower ranked teams so far this competition compared to when they played the likes of the Southside Flyers and Melbourne Boomers. And on the other hand, the Bendigo Spirit look like they're improving after that close loss against Adelaide the other night. So shapes up to be a big one. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out, guys.
Good on you, Braden. Thanks very much. Look forward to chatting to you throughout the night. Okay, Bianca. Can we see an upset? We've seen a few. It's been an unpredictable season. There have been 2 blowouts already today, and there's been some controversy. We'll talk to that when time permits. But do you give Bendigo any chance? You've got a soft spot for Bendigo, of course, but can they knock off one of the title favourites?
I definitely think that they have the heart and the energy in them to give them a good hard crack, really keep them on their toes and keep them honest. So I'm not ruling them out.
Okay, let's see what happens here. This is the Bendigo Spirit up against the University of Canberra Capitals. Paul Goris there. What a leader he has been for this team, just barking instructions just before the ladies come onto the court here. And we're about to get this underway. Game 3 on Super Saturday. As I mentioned earlier today, the Southside Flyers knocking off Townsville by 24 points, 94-70. Lizzie Cambage continuing her stellar season there with 26 points, but it was a bit of controversy, or not controversy, but disappointing there with Lauren Nicholson hurting her nose.
Yeah, she took a bit of a dive from Jen O'Hay over the top, kind of knocked her face into the ground. There's a suspected nose fracture. You also didn't see Kate Gaze suit up due to a back injury, and it's a double header, so they should see her suit up tomorrow. So yeah, it was, you know, when it rains, it pours for Townsville.
Absolutely. In the other game, Adelaide beating Sydney comfortably. But we're underway here. This is the Caps and the Spirit, and the Caps will have a first look here and looking to work it into Mariana Tolo in the high post, just getting it through a few sets of hands. And early foul has been called. Early whistle there, and a foul on Bendigo. Mary Goulding with the first personal and first team foul, just a couple of seconds in. No surprises with the starting lineups or matchups here for you, Bianca?
Absolutely not. This has been pretty much the same lineup for both teams, bar one game. Jade Melbourne entered the starting lineup in her second game of the season, and Shavana Palvas entered this lineup, I think, 3 games ago.
Nice steal there from Tessa Levy. And can Bendigo get on the board first? Carly Ernst with the offensive board. Jump back, shot there, no good. And it's going to roll out of bounds. No, it stays in.
It's great hustle from Mary Goulding. She always does the extra work and the little things for Bendigo Spirit.
And that's what they're going to need tonight against this lineup. You can't afford to give Canberra an inch. You've got to be on those balls that are on the ground. Shot clock winding down.
Fantastic defense from Abby Cabello just then. She knew what was going on. She knew how many seconds are on the shot clock and what Tessa Levy was trying to do, and really stopped that.
Tessa Levy, the skipper, came up big on Wednesday. 33 points on 50% from the floor. 6 assists, 4 of 6 from downtown. So they'll need another big game from their leader, as they will Carly Ernst, who is blocked there from Tolo. Looking forward to watching that matchup unfold. No good there, the shot from Amelia Todd-Hunter. And we still look for our first basket here.
There's a fair amount of effort being displayed here from the Bendigo Spirit. There has been 4 possessions, and they've come up continuously after a shot clock, a second shot clock, and out of bounds that almost happened, and now a second one. If this is the energy they bring on night, they're really going to be tough to beat.
They go deep to Ernst here, who likes to spot up for the 3, but she takes it in on the left hand this time. First points to Bendigo through Carly Ernst on the left, just taking it all the way against Mariana Tolo, and that's good aggressive play from Ernst. As I mentioned, she's got range, but she can also take it inside, and she is a triple threat, that is for sure. Canberra now looking to respond, just looking a little bit sluggish in their offense early on. What can Jade Melbourne manufacture? She can manufacture that.
Nice little double pump.
She
just splits that key like parting in the Red Sea.
Oh, very exciting. She picks up from where she left off the other night. Jade Melbourne, first points on the board for the Capitals. She knocked down the game winner, as we mentioned in the pre-game, in that narrow win over Perth, and she gets the first points and squares it all up here. 2 points apiece, just a couple of minutes played. Good defence here from Canberra.
Great defence from Canberra. They're making the Spirit have to run down their entire shot clock.
Lovely experienced move there from Tessa Levy, and she adds 2 more, gets her first bucket of the night, and then I think she picks up her first personal foul. She wanted one at the other end. I think she wanted the and one. Not to be, and she will pick up her first foul. But we just look at that replay, crossing over, taking it on the left-hand side, finishing it with the right hand. Thought she was fouled. She's in good form, the skipper for the Spirit.
She is. She has been very good for the Spirit this season.
Melbourne now. 3-point shot goes up, and it's good there for Canberra. Madison Rochi with the 3, and she gives the Caps the lead by 1. That was going in from the moment it left her hand. I think she knew it too, Madison Rochi.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a really, really good young talent. You know, she's found herself in this upcoming Opal squad. She's just so confident, plays so smart.
Caps 100% from the floor, 33% for Bendigo. They go inside to Tolo on the low block, working against Ernst. Ernst gets her in the air. Experience there from Mariana Tolo. Little head fake there, got Ernst to commit, drew the foul and finished it off. Gets the N1, and she'll go to the line, looking to make it a 3-point play. That's a veteran move from Mariana Tolo, one of the best in the business down there.
Absolutely.
Just so hard to guard, Bianca, when she's down there.
Especially when she gets so deep so early. There's really not much you can do besides what Carly did, and it's just really try and stay out and not foul. Unfortunately, Carly did.
So 8-4 now, the Caps way, but Bendigo would be impressed with, or happy with this start, I would think, although they've picked up a offensive foul here, which won't please Tracy York.
It'll be a bit disruptive depending on if that's Carly Ernst's second foul.
Yeah.
That'll send her to the bench for a little bit of time.
And it is too. She does have a tendency to pick up early fouls, does Carly Ernst. And we mentioned off the top, she's such a pivotal player to this Spirit side, so they can't afford her sitting on the pine. 22 points the other night, 10 boards as well on Wednesday, 4 of 12 from downtown. As Jade Melbourne takes it all the way, reverse layup, she adds 2 more. Promising start from the youngster.
Just looks so easy for her, you know, just such second nature. Like, she's been doing it her whole life, and she's only 18.
Yeah, she is one of the most exciting players in this competition, but there's plenty of those. Shyla Heel, another one who had another good game for Townsville in their loss earlier today.
She did, she never lets up.
Nice jump shot there from Pulvast. Adds 2 more for the Spirit to stay within touch. They trail by 4 here. Oh, that's a lovely move. Just couldn't finish there. That was Keely Froling. Found a bit of space down the middle. Bendigo looking to set something up here. It's Golding now. Here's Todd Hunter. Draws contact, and she was fouled. I think that'll be against Jade Melbourne, who'll pick up her first team foul on the Caps.
The defense here is very aggressive from both sides, and the refs are calling it quite tight.
Good screen there from Jenny Rintala. Nice strong screen on the youngster. Drew the contact, and first foul, as I mentioned there, against Canberra. So what do they do without Ernst in the lineup here? Where do they go for scoring?
Someone has to step up. You know, they're always going to be looking for Tessa Levy to get her 14 points a game, if not more. Amelia Todd Hunter has been in the lineup every game, but really hasn't been that much of a scoring threat, so you really like to see her get onto the boards. And who doesn't love a Froling matchup?
Absolutely.
You know? And I'm sure Alicia's pretty hungry to get a win against her sister.
No joy there for Canberra, and then a foul called on Froling.
You also see Demi Skinner had a pretty big game against Adelaide, 17 points. What she did all last season is what kind of came out last game, and you'd love to see that happen again tonight.
Froling sits down. So the miss there from Madison Rocci, and then the foul. Sees Bendigo come up with it. They trail 6-10 here with just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. This is Chemist Warehouse WNBL live from Townsville. Tessa Levy now working up top, taking it inside. Aggressive move from the skipper. I do like that, even though she's come up empty. That's good aggression from the captain, not settling for jump shots all night.
Correct. You've got to keep attacking, getting yourself to the basket. The refs are calling it if you get there. So to get that call, to earn that trip to the free throw line, you've got to attack. Cassidy
McLean with the foul. Jade Melbourne just doing that. Good aggressive play. Found some space on the right-hand side, went hard to the cup and picked up the foul, and she'll go to the stripe for 2 free throws. Paul Goris just having a chat to Talia Tupea, who I've been really impressed with this season.
Oh, she's always a delight to watch. She's very crafty.
That's a really good word, crafty.
She's so crafty, and just she knows her game inside and out. She knows how to find her teammates. You know, she's a tough opponent, and it's just nice to see her finally, you know, come back into a season. She has battled a couple of injuries the past couple of seasons, so it's really nice to see her find her form.
Melbourne makes both. Nothing but nylon from the stripe for her. Extends the lead to 6 for Canberra. And a turnover here. Kelsey Griffin in for her first minutes, and straight into the game with an impact. Here's Melbourne being aggressive once again. Kicks it out to Rocci, who walked. So turnover there for the Capitals. Bendigo dodge a bullet. Let's just get across to Braden and get the latest there on courtside.
Yeah, guys, one interesting thing to watch is Kelsey Griffin was getting some pretty tough work done on her back before the game, and I know that's the injury that kept her out of the start of this competition. So she's been all right since she's came in the game, but let's see how she goes after getting back from injury from the start of the season.
Good on you, Braden. Braden Hesselhurst with us on the sideline. Here's Melbourne on the back of the missed 3 into Rocci, who goes hard to the basket, came up empty, and Bendigo come away. So 12-6.
Both teams are up and about. They're up in each other's face. They're pushing the ball up the court quite fast. They're running the lanes. If they can keep this intensity up, it's going to be a very exciting match.
Levy with a nice look from downtown. She was a long way behind the arc, but she said, don't worry about it, I've got this one. The skipper with a big bucket, 12-9. That was important because the scoring had dried up for Bendigo, Bianca.
It definitely did, and it was really good to see that Tessa Levy just stepped up. You know what? You're going to stand a foot away from me. I'm going to make you regret that. And then she's going to come up and probably do it again.
There she goes, and she nails it. Right on cue. That's why you're the best in the business, Bianca Doofenmeyer on special comments. Tessa Levy, Bianca Doofenmeyer calls it. And the skipper with back-to-back triples ties this one away.
Far from it, but once Tessa Levy finds a shot that she likes, she's going to go back to it. And if you feed that to her, you keep her hot all night.
Griffin with her first shot down low. And what that does, that then spaces the floor because the defense will then extend and she can find the big ladies and teammates inside. So
absolutely stretches the floor, opens up the key, and then it also gives her another opportunity to be a triple threat. She can get into the paint and create a three for someone else.
Tough shot there from Skinner. Left hand hook, no good. Chance for Bendigo to take the lead there, but to no avail. So 2:42 left in what has been an entertaining first quarter. Really good aggressive play from both teams. Griffin had a good look, came up short. You'd expect her to knock that one down most times. Absolutely,
definitely would expect Kelsey to knock down any shot really in the 15, 17 foot range. So she just looked a little uncomfortable in all honesty shooting it.
So Amelia Todd-Hunter back into the game, and she's going to run the point now for Bendigo. At least momentarily, Tessa Levy stays on the floor. Ball in her hands now, and you can see Griffin right up, defending her up high now. So Levy says, I'll take it inside. Tough shot. Good defence from Canberra on that occasion. Bendigo come up with the O board. Nice move there. Unfortunately, from Rintala. Failed to finish. But again, good hustle on the offensive boards there from Bendigo.
Oh, without a doubt. And that's something I was just about to say. If you're watching stats at home, Bendigo have 5 offensive rebounds to Canberra's 0. And that's something Bendigo has done really well this season.
3 points there, Kelsey Griffin. She had a couple of siders, missed her first 2. She knocks down a triple there to extend Canberra's lead to that margin. Again, Bendigo aggressive. That was Rintala once again, and she's just failing to capitalise on those good post moves, but I really do like the way she's taking it to the Canberra defence.
Yeah, she's gone deep into the paint, gone either way, and it's just rolled out, so hopefully the next time she goes in there, it's just right.
Getting you some good looks, Bendigo. Got to knock them down, though, when you do get good looks against a side like Canberra, because they will certainly make you pay. As we saw the other night against Perth, when they had the chance to put them away, Canberra didn't go away, and they are so clutch down the stretch with the likes of Tolo, Griffin, Rochi and co.
Yeah, you look at this lineup that Canberra has on the floor right now, and it's not their starting lineup, but you've got Brittany Smart, Talia Tapea, Abby Cabello, Kelsey Griffin and Michaela Roof, and that's not your starting lineup.
An embarrassment of riches for Paul Goris to work with. 3 ball there, no good for Paige Price.
And a silly foul from Amelia Todd-Hunter.
50 seconds left here in the first quarter. Michaela Roof on the court for the Caps. Seeing her first minutes. First foul on Amelia Todd-Hunter. And we'll see free throws here and a chance for Canberra to extend their lead beyond 3. Talia Tupea to shoot 2 from the line.
It's interesting that, you know, Bendigo's actually down right now, but they've taken 5 more shots than Canberra.
Yeah, I don't think Tracy York would be too dispirited with this first quarter performance. Despite there being 50 seconds to go, they have been more than competitive here in this opening term. But they trail by 5. They need to stay within touch here and not concede a couple of buckets late. Can they find one back? Todd-Hunter. There's Froling. Nothing doing for her. Tessa Levy might have to jack one up here. Shot clock winding down. Oh, she found some space. Got a good look. Came up short. Chance for Canberra with the... They might just about get the last decent look at a shot here in this opening quarter.
Yeah, just about 2-3 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. They'll definitely run it down to at least 10.
They look for Griffin in the corner here and kick it out. Good defence there from Bendigo. They wanted Smart in the corner.
I was about to say, yeah, you're definitely on the right play, just wrong player. And that's the exact play that won them the game against Perth.
Exactly, kick out to Melbourne in the corner, and she knocked it down, the 18-year-old.
She did.
7 seconds left, first quarter. Caps leading by 5, looking to extend that here. Here's Smart now, quick release 3, and she nails it. That is a big bucket on the stroke of quarter time from Brittany Smart off the bench. And that'll send the Caps into the first break with an 8-point lead. It's 20-12. And for all Bendigo's good work, they trail by 8, Bianca. They might just be a little bit disappointed that the margin got away from them late there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, up until that last 50 seconds, we were talking about how good of a performance they put on, how happy Tracy York would be. And in that same 50 seconds, they put 6 points on the board. That's not the momentum you really want to go into a quarter-time break with. However, I mean, hats off to Canberra. They've weathered that little bit of a storm, you know, Spirit of playing energetically. But they're still up 8.
And that's the thing with Canberra, there's no respite. They might be down for a minute or two, but they will always keep coming. Tessa Levy has come up big for the Spirit, the skipper. She had a great game the other night with a team-high 33 points, and she's been leading from the front once again. What a player she is. Of course, Australian representative. Spent some time at Dandenong, of course, recently in the WNBL, and here she is knocking down 2 big triples when her team needed it. Tessa Levy just said, I got this, and she pulled her team back into the contest. Let's go in and try and have a listen to Tracy York at quarter time.
Ball moving, alert off ball deep. But when they're coming down the floor, Tess, if you're the first person, skipper or whoever, just try to now flatten them out and pull them up so we get some time to come back. Griffin just put the ball on the floor each time so we've got to make sure we're having let's have it squeeze for our first offense. But defensively, I want us in this first, this is Vista 23, it's their possession. Remember, we're trying to allow it into the back court. We want to have a team there in this so that we go play the lane, not the person. Okay, Alicia, you'll be through the floor here, but we'll show you that outside. 1, 2, 3.
So Tracy York there with her instructions for her side, which trails by 8, 12-20 after one period here in Townsville. Just repeating the scores from earlier today. Southside Flyers 94 beat Townsville 70. Adelaide Lightning 75. Sydney Uni Flames 53 up next. The Melbourne Boomers taking on the Perth Lynx. But it's Canberra and Bendigo. Let's go to Braden Hesselhurst, who was listening in on the Canberra huddle at quarter time.
Yeah, Coach Paul Goris spoke about mainly their defence and getting their switches right. Thought when they switched on-ball screens, they were too far off, with Tessa Levy being able to pull up and shoot those jumpers. So talked about that, and then playing with speed and purpose offensively. Thought they played too slowly in the half court in that first quarter. So let's see if they do any better here to finish the half, guys.
Good on you, Braden. Braden Hesselhurst there. Missed shot from Brittany Smart, who knocked down the triple on the stroke of quarter time. Bendigo need a bucket here. Scoring straight up for them. Where do they go for that answer?
By aggressively attacking the rim and drawing a foul.
Carly Ernst stays on the bench. Do we need to see her back in? Do you almost roll the dice with the margin at 8 here and think I've got to get her out here and not let this game get away from them?
I don't. You know, right now they're holding the fort. They haven't given up any points in opening the quarter. They've gotten themselves to the free throw line. Just weather this a little bit longer. You know, if that lead gets more to 10, 12, 13 points, then you think about bringing her back in and telling her to play smart. However, when you get those 2 early fouls, the refs tend to watch you just a little bit closer. So it's really just rolling the dice at that point.
Mary Goulding with 2 free throws, 2 important points there for Bendigo to open the scoring for them in this second term. Brittany Smart working up top, going deep inside. Good defence there. Griffin was blocked. She had a good seal down low, but that was good defence from the Spirit.
It's great feed for Brittany Smart. Way to find someone that's hot, but really good defence from Alicia Froling.
Yeah, really good cover late there from Alicia Froling. Canberra ball. Here's Michaela Roof. Turnaround jump shot, no good. Picked up by Canberra, and they're the things you can't let Canberra do to you, and that's second chance opportunities.
That's it. They're not a team that you can allow to have multiple shots on multiple possessions, because most of the time they will capitalise on them.
And they dodged a bullet again there, because Kelsey Griffin had a really good open look from downtown and missed it. And that's good aggressive play again from Bendigo, but again just failing to come up with the points.
Yeah, these attacks have been really good, but the ball just seems to be rimming out on most of their shots.
Foul away from the ball, I think, here.
Coach York is not happy about it.
Paige Price that came up empty down on the offensive end. Ooh, strong screen there from the co-captain, Kelsey Griffin. And Mary Golding comes up with the foul.
Her second as well.
Michaela Roof checking out. Mariana Tolo back in. Tessa Lavey with the quick hands, tried to
get a cheeky steal, try and get down on a breakaway.
As she so often does. She's always in the game, Tessa Lavey. Brittany Smart now working. Here's Tapaya, had a good look, turned it down. Beautiful pass there. Just came, or maybe one pass too many.
Just a little bit. You know, I don't know if you've noticed that Bendigo actually moved into a zone, and Canberra was having very nice, crisp passes through it. And like you said, probably just overthrew that last pass. But they're also not putting the ball on the deck as much as you want to see to break down that zone.
Deep in the shot clock here. Good aggressive play once again, and they come up empty. I tell you what, if Bendigo had capitalised on these opportunities from close range, they would be a lot closer than 6 points behind, possibly even leading. They've had some really, really good looks as Brittany Smart steps back and pulls the trigger. Misses again. 1 of 3 for her from long range. Tessa Lavey now. Hands off to Todd Hunter, her partner in crime. 3 ball this time, no good. That was Paige Price, who stepped back.
They're taking a couple of rush shots, probably want to slow down and see themselves get through a whole offensive set, let something open up to them and take that opportunity. Great drive from Abby Cubello here, just aggressive, really just, you know, head down, saw the lights at the end of the tunnel and got herself there.
That's another thing that Bendigo haven't been doing, is when they have been getting to the cup, they haven't, despite the fact, well, we've mentioned that they're not making the shot, but they haven't been drawing fouls either and getting to the stripe to get some cheap points.
No, you're right. They are actually fading away from the contact, so they're not actually giving the refs an opportunity to make a call.
Whereas on that occasion, we see Cabillo go straight for the basket and drew the contact, and she makes both from the stripe, extends the lead out to 8. 22-14, equal biggest lead of the game here for the Capitals. And just some troubling signs here for Bendigo, who need to stay within touch. Good aggressive move from Amelia Todd Hunter, and right on cue, she draws the contact and she'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, kind of the opposite of like commentator's curse, right?
Absolutely, we'll take credit for that one, as Carly Ernst is back into the game for Bendigo as well. Good move there from Amelia Todd Hunter, who's been around the blocks and has plenty of leadership and experience.
Definitely would classify Todd Hunter as a bit of a veteran of the league. She's been around for a long time and she's very smart, very agile in what she does.
And makes both from the line to cut the margin back to 6 points.
Yeah, we'll see Bendigo open up in a full court press, which Canberra has broken very easily.
Tupaya open for 3, that's trouble, and she knocks it down. That's how you beat a press, Bianca Dufemaya.
Absolutely how you beat a press. You know, you beat it via the pass, you made them collapse, and then no one knew where the shooters were. That couldn't have worked out better for Canberra.
That's what you do when there is full court pressure. You attack it, and you'll often come up with an open look, and it was Talia Tupaya, who is dangerous from downtown, and she knocks down the triple. And Tracy York, I think, wants to talk it over.
As you should. You know, Abby just got a clean clean drive right down the middle of the key. Nice penetration, kicked it out, extra pass. You can't get better offense than that.
It didn't work for them on that occasion, but do you like Bendigo mixing it up a little bit here and giving them a different look?
I think that's what Bendigo has to do, regardless if it's working or not in this instance. They have to make a change.
Take the game on. You've got to take the game on, I think, here when you play Canberra. Don't die wondering.
No.
Paul Goris there chatting to his troops, and they lead by 9 here, 25 to 16.
One possession straight out
Just over, or just under 7 minutes to play in this first half, I should say. An important period here in the lead up to half time. Bendigo looking to stay within touch of this star-studded Canberra lineup, which leads the league at this point in time, 6-1. They dropped the first game of the season, a bit of an upset, it must be said, to the Sydney Uni Flames, but since then they have not looked back, and they were on the ropes against Perth the other night, but they somehow found a way, because that's what good teams do.
You know, it was the first game of the season. You know, you'd rather drop one then than at the end of the season.
Palvas with a nice look from 3, missed it. Let's get to Braden, who's courtside.
Yeah, guys, Tracy York in that timeout was happy with their half-court defense, really causing Canberra some issues in that zone, but just talked about locating the shooter in Tupaya in transition, which is the only bucket that Canberra, as we just saw then by 3 then, was the only sort of buckets that Canberra have got in the last couple of minutes. And then offensively, wanted a lot more action for Tessa Levy, especially after that hot first quarter. So let's see what they do here.
Tupaya knocked down another triple. That's 2 on the spin for her. Nice aggressive move from Palvas, no contact.
Bendigo have not let up on their driving and trying to get to the rim. They're just not converting.
Need to locate Tupaya. She's in the corner here, looking for another triple. She's got her eye in. Talia Tupaya, margin at 11. Danger signs here for Bendigo. Need to stay within touch. Scoring's dried up for them. 5 of 26 for Bendigo. 8 of 19 now. 19 now for Canberra.
Yeah, Bendigo definitely, they're going through like lulls of scoring and droughts. Canberra just seem to be consistently finding a way to keep notching scores onto that board.
It's a good point. There's not a lot of flow and rhythm to Bendigo's game at this point in time. There's another 3 there for Canberra. Abby Cabillo this time. That's 3 triples in a row from the Capitals, and they lead it now by 14 points in the twinkling of an eye.
Now this is again where Tracy York is going to have to look at making an adjustment defensively, and for the players themselves to just step up and recognise where the shooters are.
Tessa Levy had a good look from deep there, but failed to come up with the triple. Here's Cabillo again. Oh, that was in. Had a good look. Jumped back out. Good offensive rebound. Mariana Tolo now. And she makes a nice aggressive move to the bucket and adds 2 more. And this is what Canberra can do.
Absolutely. Right now, if I'm Canberra, I'm going to keep feeding that ball inside to Mariana Tolo or Keely Froling, because you've got Carly Ernst, who's on 2 fouls. So you wanted to just attack her and put her on the bench, really put Bendigo at a disadvantage here.
Absolutely, and when you've got the likes of Tupaya and Cabillo on fire from beyond the arc, we mentioned it earlier, it just stretches the floor. All of a sudden, you have to extend that defence, and that opens it up for the likes of Tolo inside, especially when Ernst is in foul trouble, as you mentioned. So 16-point lead now to Canberra. And we still have 5 minutes to play in this second period. Let's go and try and listen in to Paul Goris.
See one side, Matt inside. Come up, get out of the corner, having pass it to Tolo, get a hand back on the rim. Okay, so you come up, pinch, take Tolo, and you're out.
So Paul Goris, you'd imagine, pretty happy with the work of his team in this first. They did look sluggish the other night against Perth, but no signs of any rust here. They've come out of the blocks firing.
Yeah, games like what Canberra had against Perth kind of keep them from being complacent. It really just, reminds me that, we do have to earn this every single time we step on the floor.
So it's a 10-0 scoring run for Canberra. Tessa Levy looking to put an end to that, but she can't. Tolo comes up with the rebound. To force the issue here. This is Madison Rochi inside to Froling. Easy bucket there And this is getting dangerous now for Bendigo. They need a bucket.
Yes.
Big time. Where's it going to come from?
I think it's going to come from Carly Ernst. That's where I'm putting my money on.
And she needs to be aggressive. Instead, she turns it over. Rochi comes away with it. Oh, I thought that was a bit stiff.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
Thought that was good defence there. Didn't really commit.
The ball came, her hands did come down, but they come down onto the ball. There's nothing to that.
Cassidy McLean called for the foul. And they need a break or two here, Bendigo. Jenny Rintala coming on for the Spirit. Here's Rochi inside to Tolo. Draws the double, going to work. Down low, left-hand veteran move from Mariana Tolo. That's just about unguardable.
There's nothing you can do. That's it. You just kind of have to watch her do it, give her a good clap, well done, and hope she doesn't do it again.
And how lucky have we been to see her do that year in, year out in this league?
Oh, what a steal.
They are just all over them here, Canberra.
They're everywhere.
Lovely pass inside. Tolo missed what she probably should have made. Froling going to work down low, and she draws contact. Thankfully, it's not on Ernst, it's on Rintala.
Ernst did head to the bench, so I'm assuming, you know, they're down 20. Let's probably save her to the second half, change momentum, hopefully. But at the same time, Mary Goulding has to, Cassie McLean has to, so you've really got to start being careful about, you know, where these fouls are coming from.
Haven't scored for 4 minutes, Bendigo. It's a 14-0 run for Canberra. Make that 15 as Froling adds one more from the stripe. 100% from the line for both teams. And that stays perfect as Froling makes the back end of 2. Good action on offense here for Bendigo.
Absolutely, they're getting through it, they're running, they're cutting hard.
This is where...
And that's a really good little matchup there between the twins. And Keely, you know what, just coming out a little bit, besting her sister with a nice block.
Yeah, bragging rights there for Keely.
Right after the game, you'll definitely hear about that one.
Absolutely. Here's Jade Melbourne going to work just off the wrong foot. Right hand.
Finger roll.
Class with a capital C, Jade Melbourne. What an excitement machine. Levy pulls up for 3. Doesn't go down, but there is a whistle.
Bendigo really need to come up with a score and a couple of scores here heading into the, you know, the halftime break. Just would be really defeating to end the first half with the performance they put on the back end of this quarter.
4 turnovers for Bendigo. They need to tidy up in that area. Nice move there, but really good defence from Kelsey Griffin.
Great defence. Really just deterred the shot.
They will not give them an inch here, Canberra. There is no let-up foul there from Griffin, and it's an unsportsmanlike. So an unsportsmanlike foul there against the veteran, Kelsey Griffin. What do you make of this, Bianca?
These fouls, look, I appreciate the unsportsmanlike in when players are trying to just stop the play. Kelsey Griffin is not trying to stop the play. She's actually made an attempt at the ball, but unfortunately she's not ahead of the ball, if that makes sense. You have to be in front of your player for that to not be an unsportsmanlike. So I think she's been hard done by in this instant.
Levy up to 9 points, makes the first. She is a ball player too, Kelsey Griffin, we know that.
Oh, without a doubt.
And Levy finally breaks the drought for Bendigo with 2 cheapies from the line. So they catch a bit of a break there, and they build a bit of momentum heading into the main break here. They trail it by 22 after this enormous run from Canberra in the middle of this second quarter. Let it fly, Tessa.
Yeah, that's his spot. That's his spot.
She turns it down. And
Alicia's getting herself in some really good positions, but does not go up for the shot. And that's actually going to put the Spirit at a disadvantage because they're going to play her as a passer, not as a scorer.
Paige Price with the foul there. You're right, she's making some really good positioning and getting some good steals down low.
But, you know, that's also a credit to Keely. It's pretty good defence.
Yeah, she's a handy defender. Been around a while as Keely. So Alicia Froling, in fact, it's Madison Rochi at the line. Again, both teams shooting at 100% clip from the stripe. And no trouble there for Madison Rochi.
I mean, if you just look at, again, we're talking about Canberra's roster. They've put 42 points in less than 20 minutes of play on the board. That's incredible.
Yeah, Canberra and Southside, this is where they're both so dangerous. So much talent, so much scoring power. They can just get on a roll, and it's very hard to contain. Ernst has got a nice look down low. Turnaround jump shot. She's struggling tonight, Carly Ernst, after a hot game the other night. Here's Jade Melbourne. Pulls up for the jumper. No good. And that might be a Bendigo ball. It is. Good call there from the referee. Coming off Delaney there, who came up with the offensive rebound. 5 offensive rebounds to Canberra, 6 for Bendigo. They're certainly working hard down that end of the floor. Here's Lavey. No points off the bench for Bendigo. 13 for Canberra. So again, that depth coming to the fore for the Caps. There's a foul. Offensive foul. So to go Canberra's way. Gee, I don't know if there was much in that one.
She definitely did drop her shoulder, but she didn't even move Delaney. So, again, that's just the way the refs are calling it this evening, and both teams just have to make those adjustments.
Jenny Rintala with the offensive foul. That's her first personal. There's Abby Cabillo handing off to Michaela Roof. Here's Griffin now. Guarded by Ernst. Now the switch.
It's really good. Kelsey Griffin definitely is a workhorse, and she wants to get to the bucket and put points on the board, but she's also a phenomenal passer, especially in the high-low game. She's attacked the elbow and immediately head up looking for Michaela Roof in the low post.
Yeah, incredibly selfish player. Look at this, Jade Melbourne. Lovely move to the basket. Just failed to capitalise. Good aggressive move again from Melbourne. She's not settling for jump shots and threes tonight. She's being really aggressive.
Well, they're giving her the driving lanes, and she's taking them.
She's so quick too. Such a tough cover.
She's very crafty in the way she does it. She's having a double pump, a reverse finger roll finish.
Lavey with a big bucket again for the Spirit. That's another triple for her. 3 of 5 from beyond the arc now. 13 points for the skipper. She's playing a lone hand here for Bendigo. 13 of 21 points for her side.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like she has been the sole scorer in the past, 6 minutes for the Bendigo Spirit.
Yeah, they need someone to come along for the ride. Bendigo, it's usually Carly Ernst, and she's been well contained. They need to find another scoring option. Full credit to Tessa Lavey, who's coming up big here, showing all her class and experience for her side, which is in trouble, trailing by 21 as we approach half-time. Chemist Warehouse WNBL. Tough shot there from Amelia Todd-Hunter on the left. But good second effort there. Good hustle from Todd-Hunter, which is what she's renowned for.
It's what she does. She's working for those extra possessions, those 50-50 balls, as we like to call them. And I don't know what direction the jump ball is in.
Possession arrow going the way of Bendigo. So they catch a break there into Ernst. What can she do? She goes to work on Griffin. Tough defence again from Griffin, giving them no space whatsoever, the veteran.
Man, you almost want it to go in.
You do, don't you? You're just willing it to go in there. They are certainly having a massive crack here, Bendigo. Just outclassed, and we expected that from the outset. They trail it by 21 here. A chance for Canberra to extend that. Here's Melbourne working on the left-hand side. Spot up 3 there, no good from Delaney, but they save it. Here's Griffin. 7 seconds left in the half. Melbourne now, screen from Griffin. Melbourne, tough shot. She comes up short, and that'll do us. Half-time. Canberra full of running here. They extended their lead in that term to 21 points, 42 points at half-time. They are a very tough side, and especially when they get on a roll, you still feel like they've got another gear to go to, Bianca. So bit of work to do for Bendigo, stating the obvious, of course, but they trail it by 21. Certainly has been through a lack of effort and intensity from Bendigo, but they're just failing to put the points on the board.
The ball just isn't going into the basket. I don't know if there's glad wrap on it or if they can't see it. You want it to go in for them. They are working so hard.
One of the stars for the Capitals in that first half, Talia Tupea. She's with Braden Hesselhurst.
Yeah, Talia, after that sort of even first quarter, you guys really kicked into gear. What changed in that second quarter?
Defense. If we can get our defense going, it just flows into our offense, so we're able to score off that.
And you're able to get going, especially the last couple of games, hitting a clutch shot the last game and getting going in that second quarter. How are you feeling after that injury that forced you to miss the first game?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I've got the team that can do it. We've proven that, and they've got my support as well, so we're really good with that.
And focuses for the second half, even though this is a 21-point lead. Paul Gorris spoke about how against the lower-ranked teams, you guys have been a bit low in intensity and energy. What's the focus going into the second half?
Yeah, definitely. Our game against Perth, that was on us, so we're just going to keep pushing the ball. No matter what happens, just keep pushing and get the W.
Thanks for that. Good luck in the second half.
Cool, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, there's Talia Tupea as we look at some first half highlights here. And Carly Ernst started well, but she's been well contained since there. We see Jade Melbourne getting to the cup and picking up from where she left off the other night. Tessa Lavey, she's been good for the Spirits, Bianca.
She has, week in, week out, or it's only been 3 weeks, game in, game out. She has been there leading the Spirit, pretty much being that general that's saying, hey guys, let's go, let's pick up, keep our heads up, let's really attack, let's really stay positive and do our best, because that's all they can do at this point. Yeah,
absolutely. She has been clutch, but she needs some running mates. Does Tessa Lavey. We see her knocking down another triple. She's shooting it well.
And she's definitely found her groove on the three-point line. Up until, I think, two games ago, Tessa was shooting a mere 16% from the three-point line. So her confidence is just growing. And you know what will help that continue is by having someone join her on that path.
One thing that's impressed me with Canberra in that first half is their inside-outside game. Initially it was getting it inside to Tolo and Co, and then they kicked it out to Tupea and Cabillo, and they've just got weapons all over the floor.
They've got them everywhere. And the good thing about going into Tolo, she's such a good passer. And obviously she's so high, she can see the floor extremely well. So she's not afraid to kick it out and let someone else have a shot.
Tessa Lavey with 13 points for Bendigo, but after that, it's 2 points apiece to Golding, Todd Hunter, Pulvast and Ernst. So they need some more even contributions, because we look at Canberra, Jade Melbourne's got 8, 7 points for Tupea and Tolo, 5 apiece to Cabillo and Rochi. Froling's got 4, Smart's got 3, Griffin's got 3. That's what you want as a coach, isn't it?
Absolutely. And then you jump on top of that with all that even scoring. They're even minutes. Jade Melbourne's played 11 minutes, Abby's played 15, Maddie Rochi's played 11, Tolo's played 11. Everyone's getting fair court time, fresh legs, and that's why they're just so crisp and sharp when they're on the floor. Jade
Melbourne and Madison Rochi a very lethal 1-2 punch. Let's have a look at some of their work tonight in this game. They've been really dangerous for Canberra, of course, and they're causing all sorts of headaches here for Bendigo. We just look at some of the stats there. 3-pointers, 33% on 3 of 9 there for Bendigo, 45% there for Canberra. And we're going to look at, as I mentioned, Madison Rochi and Jade Melbourne. They're forming a nice lethal partnership there.
You know what? They are. They're a duo and they're doing really well, but it's not just those two all the time. You also throw Tupea in the mix. And you've got 3 incredible guards that have all been through Australia's Centre of Excellence and played for Australian junior teams. They just know how to play with each other.
We've sung the praises of Jade Melbourne at length. You spent some time at the University of Alabama. What do you expect Jade Melbourne will get from going to Arizona?
It's just going to be a different game. The Australian style of basketball is, pass first, very, I don't want to say team orientated, but it's faster. Whereas in America, to me, it's a lot slower, a lot more crafty with what they do. I think it's just going to create even more, she'll become an even more diverse player by going over there.
and the experience of playing against people from all across the world and the locals and getting a different voice in terms of coaching and that sort of experience will do her the world of good too? Absolutely.
That's just things that you really can't get without going and doing something else. You know, getting out of your backyard. Though, Australia's league is, you know, ranked number 2 in the world, behind the WNBA, which we see the likes of quite a few of our players actually going over there and playing. So, you know, you're not losing anything if you don't go, but it's a great experience if you do. And I think it's just going to do a world of good for Jade Melbourne. All right, well, she's been one of the hot players in the competition this season. So too is Rachel Jarry, one of the veterans for the Southside Flyers. She was in action earlier today, and our crew caught up with her earlier this week.
I'm back in the WNBL just because I love basketball. I did take a year off last season, but, you know, and that was just, I guess, for a mental break. And yeah, just had the opportunity to sign with Southside and super excited about our team. I pretty much played with everyone on this team. Obviously, like Jenna and Liz and I played in that WNBL Championship back in the day, back when I was a rookie. And it kind of feels like yesterday, but also so long ago. And then to be able to play again with Leilani is probably one of the best point guards in the world. I've grown up playing with Steph, and obviously to get back and play with Sarah and a lot of these young girls, yeah, that was a big factor for me in signing, so very excited about it. We won't shy away from saying that we're here to win. We've put together a very talented roster, but it's going to be such a challenging season, and that is very exciting for us, but also, you know, we've got to have to be focused for the whole season, and really, you know, come to win for every game. Last season, when I was having the year off, I applied and went to the police academy in Victoria and became a police officer. Something I'm very excited about, and I'm loving it. They're very different, but I think having that sporting background and being able to give and receive feedback is pretty important, and I'm grateful that I've had so many experiences in basketball. I think it's going to really help me in my career. The WNBL is important because it's our premier women's basketball league, and we're role models for so many young people in this country. And you know, I remember growing up watching Lauren Jackson, Michelle Timms, Rahani Cox, Penny Taylor, those kind of women, and we want to inspire another generation to be able to achieve what they want to achieve.
Bianca, we've spoken about a lot of veterans in this competition. Rachel Jarry, she's one of the best. She's been around for a while, and she's got plenty of class and experience. She does. She just brings that leadership and, you know, that like do as I do, not as I say type thing. She does all the 1%ers. She dives on balls. She is an absolute workhorse on the defensive end. Earlier today in her match against Townsville, we caught up with her before the game, and all she talked about was like, I'm here for the experience and to help keep the bench up and about, and when I come on the court to just hold the fort while, you know, our starters are getting a bit of a breather. And she did exactly that. She was all over the ball, gave up a shot, then came down, whacked it out of someone's hands, saved the possession, and that's just what you get from Rachel Jarry. But she also has the absolute potential to take over a game as well. She can be a sharpshooter and she knows how to get to the rim. Well said. Well, half-time here at Townsville, and it's the Capitals 42-21. Let's head up to Townsville now, and our man on the scene is Braden Hesselhurst.
Yeah, Canberra really clicked into gear in that second quarter. As I mentioned before, Paul Goris spoke to me before the game about their intensity and effort after the game the other night against Perth. Thought they were really poor in that area. And in the first quarter, it started much like that, again the same, but they really clicked into gear in that second quarter on both ends, defensively and offensively, able to move the ball offensively and get wide open threes and knock them down, which is unusual for them because they're not one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league, normally shooting around the mid-20s in percent. But then their defense really clicked into gear, really physical, really active, a lot of talk, and showed that sort of championship defense that they're known for. So if they keep that up, it's going to be real hard for Bendigo, who really needs someone else apart from Tessa Levy to step up offensively in the second half if they're going to make this a competitive game.
Thank you, Braden. Braden Hesselhurst there at Townsville as we come towards a couple of minutes just before the second half here. It's the obvious. We all keep saying it. The Bendigo can't just keep relying on Tessa Levy. Carly Ernst is having a quiet night. Is there anyone else who can step up, Bianca, for them?
I definitely think that Amelia Todd-Hunter has the experience to step up. You've got Jenny Rentala, who is very aggressive and getting herself in the right spots, but the shots just aren't falling. So, you know, those would be my two picks. Shavana Palvas is also very, very talented, but has been quiet. You know, she's stepped into this team late with an injury with one of the forwards for Bendigo Spirit. So I would like to see her step up because she's actually been more quiet than she is as a player.
Bench points as well, 13 for Canberra. No contribution off the bench for Bendigo. They need something. We've mentioned that they need something from some of their starters, but they need some of these role players and players that get limited minutes to step up and take their opportunity, take their moment, and really take the initiative and take it up to Canberra here, because they certainly won't let up here. You wouldn't expect them to take their foot off the gas. They're just too good and too experienced for that.
Absolutely, and you know what? At the end of the day, you're here to win games. You're here to advance yourself and get to that grand final and win that title. And that's what Canberra is working for. And they're actually showing why they're going to be as a very, very serious contender. If not, you know, a back-to-back-to-back champion.
Three-peat. Wouldn't put it past them. The title, you're going to have to get through Canberra to lift a trophy, I would imagine, at the end of the season. Let's take a look at some of the halftime stats. Field goal percentage, 40 for Canberra, just 17% for Bendigo on 6 of 34. You're not going to be winning many games, shooting 17% from the field. Three-pointers, 33%, as I mentioned earlier, for Bendigo. 45, that's good going for Canberra. Free throw percentage, 100% for both teams. Canberra, 11 of 11. Rebounds, 27 to Canberra, 18 to Bendigo. 4 steals for both sides. 4 blocks for Canberra, 1 for Bendigo. Turnovers, 6 apiece. And as I mentioned, bench points, 13 to Canberra, none for Bendigo. They need to pick that up. Okay, so not far away now from second half action here at Townsville. It's the Capitals 42 leading Bendigo 21. And Canberra will get us underway in this second half. Coming up later this evening, the fourth of the 4 games today, the Melbourne Boomers taking on the Perth Lynx, who nearly got past Canberra in an upset the other night, just failed to close them out. And Canberra showed all their class and experience down the stretch to get over the line, thanks to an 18-year-old just knocking down a 3 with about 6 seconds left on the clock, if you don't mind.
Yeah, completely ice cold too.
Here's Madison Rocci, first shot of the second half, comes up empty. Chance for Bendigo to cut into this margin, and they're not going to do it all in one go, Bendigo. They need to just chip away. Tracy York would be just saying, let's just try and win this quarter.
Yep, 1 quarter at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 shot at a time.
That's a good start. Amelia Todd-Hunter, nothing but nylon. It's a 2-pointer, but they'll take anything they can get at the moment.
And you know, in this league right now, unfortunately for Bendigo, they're just going to be one of those teams that have to grind away at each team. Nothing's going to come easily or pretty. It's just going to be that sluggish, real, gritty type of win.
Good energy out of the halftime huddle here, or halftime break for Bendigo. They come up with the turnover, and Tessa Lavey adds 2 more. First 4 points, 4 quick points in this third quarter for the Spirit. And there we see another turnover. Good defensive pressure from Bendigo. They have lifted, just as I say that. They turn it over through Tessa Lavey, and Jade Melbourne coming back the other way. Head fake, but Amelia Todd-Hunter read her like a book.
Look at this. This is just aggression from both ends, trying to say, you know what, I'm going to out-aggressive you.
Well, Ernst was wide open for the triple there.
Yeah.
Can't knock her for attacking, but might have gone out to Ernst for the 3, and there's a foul there. Tolo's going to go to the line. Let's see who this is on.
It's on Carly Ernst. Definitely interested to see this. She definitely gets her on the arm.
And that is not what Bendigo wanted. More foul trouble for Carly Ernst. Mariana Tolo to go to the line, where the Capitals are 100%. And there's the commentator's curse, right on cue.
Though she did shoot it before you said it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Makes the back end as Mariana Tolo lead is 18 points. 2 of 3 from the stripe for the veteran. Good start to this third quarter from Bendigo. Good energy out of the halftime break. And there's a foul on Froling, who doesn't like it. She's saying I think she's saying that Pulvas might have hooked her.
And she does.
And she does.
She definitely does.
And you can see the smile there from Shivana Pulvas as well. I think she knows she got away with one there.
And you know what? Smile and walk away.
Exactly right. Because you know next time she's not going to get that call. Nice move from Todd Hunter. Good aggressive play from the veteran.
And that's what you want to see. She's stepping up. She's trying to jump on that train along with Tessa Levy and make something happen.
We asked for someone to jump in the seat with Tessa Levy, and it's her partner in crime, Amelia Todd Hunter, who's come up big in this third quarter. This is really good energy, impressive start from Bendigo.
Definitely want this foul to be on Tessa Levy though, not Carly Ernst, because that would be Carly's 4th.
I think it is Tessa Levy. It is.
That's her 3rd.
So foul trouble.
Oh, that's a nice... Sorry.
No, you're right. Good defence again from Bendigo, although a bad pass. Really at a crucial time there.
Yeah, definitely would classify it as that's not what you want. However, looking to kick that ball ahead as Levy's rim running.
Poor execution, right idea.
That's it.
Absolutely. They're really taking it up to Canberra in this third quarter. They've cut the margin from 21 to 16, and they need to keep their foot on the gas pedal. Here's Melbourne on the left hand, no good. But there's Kelsey Griffin to mop up for Canberra. Their first points of this third quarter coming after 2.5 minutes. Here's Goldie. Pulvast. Here's Todd Hunter, who's got the hot hand in this third quarter for Bendigo. Comes up short on that occasion. Griffin forcing the issue. Oh, tough shot there.
Tough shot. There's not much you can do about that.
Not many players in the league would be able to finish in that position, but Mariana Tolo, she certainly can. And a good response here from the Caps. Carly Ernst taking it inside. She just cannot get anything going tonight, Carly Ernst. Good defence once again from Canberra.
Great defence.
They've sparked up a bit here, Canberra. Talia Tapeo for 3.
Beautiful shot. Just nice little stepped into that. Didn't look like missing.
And all of a sudden the margin is 23, so they've extended the halftime lead. Just like that, Bendigo have been all over them this quarter, and then Canberra, they just need a minute, and all of a sudden they extend the lead back out, and it's a game high 23 points. That must be so deflating for a young Bendigo side.
It is, especially because of the way they came out and opened this half. They were aggressive, they were assertive, they were not backing down. And, you know, just a couple of lapses in focus on where the shooters are, containing the baseline penetration. And, you know, against the Canberra side, against the South side, against the Townsville, against the Melbourne, they will make you pay for that.
Not a game-high lead, of course. They led by more than that earlier in the game. They're on a 7-0 run here, Canberra. So just like that, they put 7 points up in quick time and extend the lead to 23. Just over 3 minutes played in this third quarter. Tracy York, though, she can't be disappointed with the way they've come out from halftime, the locker room. Plenty of energy to start this third quarter.
Absolutely not. You wouldn't be disappointed how they started. You just want to be like, all right, girls, come on, let's get back to what we were just doing. It was working and it was good. It was aggressive.
Braden Hesselhurst was listening into Paul Goris.
Yeah, Goris just spoke to his team about playing not to protect the lead, but to enhance it. So I like to burst of energy out of this timeout, but also offensively expect a lot of high-low action between Kelsey Griffin and Mariana Tolo. Really wanted to focus on going inside and creating some easy shots for their shooters from there as well.
Thank you, Braden. Deep into the shot clock here for Bendigo. Ernst is fouled from beyond the arc, and she will go to the line to shoot a 3. Foul will be called against Mariana Tolo, her first personal. And yep, she got her on the arm there as Carly spotted up. So Ernst makes the first. Scoring is dried up for Carly Ernst. That's her 3rd point after opening the scoring for Bendigo. Still yet to miss from the stripe, Bendigo.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Without fail.
It always happens once.
Margin is 21. 8 defensive rebounds for Kelsey Griffin. She is a workhorse. Talia Tapea turns down an open look. Instead finds arguably a better look, and there you go. Abby Cabillo knocks it down.
She's a very exciting player. She's always up and about, very bouncy, up in the lanes, doesn't shy away from a shot, but really, really good at creating shots for her teammates.
Such unselfish play from this Canberra side. Talia Tapea had every right to spot up and shoot that 3. She's been seeing them well. Instead, she finds the open player in the corner and she knocks it down.
Again, that's another good shot from a Bendigo player that just doesn't go in the iron.
Cassidy McLean there. Just failing to capitalise on that aggressive move to the basket. Just a Levy doing her best to try and keep it alive here. Instead, it'll be a Canberra ball. They lead by 24. Giovanna Palvast has a seat for Bendigo. They go inside to Tolo. Outside, there's that inside-outside game Braden Hesselhurst told us about. Tolo with the O board. Nice little tap down to Cabillo, who takes it out. And I'll set something up. No, Cabillo had other ideas. Tried to go it alone. Good defence on that occasion from Bendigo.
Bendigo did switch up their defence there and dropped to a 2-3 zone. Was a bit disruptive, definitely had their players out on any shooters, so definitely an improvement from what we've seen.
There's Levy missing from the foul line there. Had a good look at it. Good offence from Bendigo. Need to take these chances, as we've mentioned. Canberra now. Tapea. Lovely look inside to Tolo. That's beautiful basketball.
That is lovely. That's lovely. Just a nice zip pass through the middle of the key. And then to have, you know, your post player to credit you that assist.
She's having some sort of game. Talia Tapea knocking down 3s. Lovely looks like that into Mariana Tolo. Well, that's a tough shot there from Cassidy McLean. I don't think that's the one Tracy York drew up. Go inside to Griffin on this occasion. Good defence from Ernst not to pick up another foul. Made it tough for Griffin, who missed.
Again, Talia Tapea on the former end of that pass, just creating shots for her teammates.
You mentioned earlier, you know, fits and spurts for Bendigo with their offence, and again, they're just in a bit of a slump here. Need some scoring. Where's it going to come from? Canberra certainly having no trouble putting points on the board. Melbourne inside to Tolo. Had a good steal on the smaller Todd Hunter. Well, actually went over her head, and she was forced into committing a foul.
Oh, I think it was actually Demi Skinner that's come up from behind and just, you know, braced herself, 2 hands on the back of Tolo, and gotten called for it. But what you were saying in who the points are gonna come from at this stage, I really don't know. You know, everyone's been trying. Again, yes. They just haven't been falling.
Absolutely. You certainly can't question their effort. It's just that poise, that class, that experience, the skill level differential here between the two sides. Mariana Tolo having a good game. Got a special feature on Mariana tomorrow, which certainly looking forward to tuning in for.
And that's something you just can't do when guarding Maddie Rocci. I don't think she's ever seen a shot she doesn't like. So for a tall player like Carly Ernst to drop off when the ball is in her hands is just something you can't do.
She certainly doesn't need an invitation, Maddie Rocci. And she made them pay there. Kelsey Griffin with a bit of a poke in the face there on Carly Ernst. Accidental, of course.
Puts her hand up, takes the foul. Nothing else you can do about it.
Be her second foul. Of course, had that unsportsmanlike earlier. Here's Levy working hard. Lovely move right through the middle.
Absolutely, and those moves that she has worked a lot on in the off-season. Just those nice finishes around the rim.
17 points now for the skipper.
Nice pass from Brittany Smart. Went for the jump shot, dumped it down. Nice, strong bounce pass into Kelsey Griffin at the bottom of the key.
Here's Levy. Foul there against Canberra. Good screen from Ernst.
I think Pretty Smart's just, you know, disrupting her movement.
I think she knew she was outsized and had to get a bit of body contact on the bigger Carly Ernst there.
Yeah, they do tell you, you know, if a post player is cutting, or any play really, you bump them off their, just bump them while they're running on their line. You can't really take them off their line.
Good action on that previous play there from Bendigo. Ernst settles for the jumper and can't find the back of the net once again. Lovely skip pass there from Canberra, forcing the issue.
Talia Tapea is just playing on a different level right now. The way that she just floats this pass between 3 Bendigo players to Keely Froling, and Keely Froling gets a chance to go to the free throw. Besides getting a 3-point play, there's nothing better than that. 10
points and 4 assists for Talia Tapea, arguably best on court. She's been very good from the outset. Froling makes the first from the stripe. Margin is 29. This is the second, but Michaela Roof comes up with the offensive board. Gets to her favoured left hand, misses, but again comes up with another offensive rebound. Good work there from Michaela Roof.
And that's what she's known for, is being on the glass. So you can't allow her to have multiple possessions under there.
Tapea with a lovely inside pass. Once again, there's another beautiful pass from Talia Tapea. She's just making all the right decisions this evening. Froling had good position down low, and she's dangerous down so close to the cup. She goes to her left and draws contact. She'll go back to the line to shoot 2 more.
She is playing so well this evening.
Keely Froling at the line.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if you get fouled and make 1 free throw, it still counts as an assist to the player that fed you.
You are correct. Misses the second once again, does Froling, but again, Canberra come up with another opportunity. Here's Smart, open look for 3. Nails it, nothing but nylon. Brittany Smart. That's her second from downtown. And the margin is 33. 1:40 left in this third quarter at Townsville.
Canberra are playing so well. They're connecting so well on these outside shots. I believe they're shooting 50% from the 3-point line right now, and that's just an adjustment that the Spirit are going to have to make. You know, you have to run them off the 3-point line, make them go inside, make them do something different.
Question without notice, as we see Jenny Rintala at the line for 2. Who do you believe has a better, deeper, more talented roster, Canberra or Southside?
Well, that's a tough call. You've probably got more experience on the Southside bench, but at the moment, the way both teams are playing, I would say that the Canberra bench are playing better as a team in those rotations and coming off the bench. But in terms of just, you know, on paper, Southside.
Michaela Roof gets down low and adds 2 more for the Capitals. Yeah, they're the 2-time defending champions for a reason. The Capitals, they know each other's games so well and so well drilled from their coach, Paul Gorris.
Then you also have to take into account that the starting 5, I mean, that's a really nice drive from a very young player in Piper Dunlop.
Great finish, really strong, aggressive move. That's what they need more of from Bendigo.
From all of their players, beautiful high-low. That's exactly what Paul Gorris was wanting.
This is a pleasure to watch. Some of this passing from Canberra is right on point.
Yeah, they've got 17 assists with, you know, just closing out the rest of this quarter with still 10 minutes to play.
Lovely shot there from Demi Skinner. She knocks down a triple, her first 3 of the evening. And the margin is 31 points. Again, lovely spacing on the floor and lovely ball movement from Canberra. They are scoring at will.
Oh, I was just about to say that. They look like they're just doing what they want out there. Who wants a shot?
Exactly.
Cut for it. I'll get you the ball.
Yep, and they're just taking it in turns, passing it around, finding the open player, not forcing the issue. On the stroke of three-quarter time, tries her luck from half court. It doesn't go in, but it doesn't matter. Canberra again leading it by a big margin here as we have one period to play. They lead at 70-37, so a 33-point lead. We saw Southside Flyers win by 24 earlier today. They put on 94 against Townsville, and Canberra might have seen that and said, oh, okay, big dogs, what do you got? We've seen what you've done. We're going to come out and make a statement of our own here, and they're doing that against Bendigo.
Yeah, they're definitely asserting themselves at the top of the ladder. Definitely creating a little bit more separation with each game.
Absolutely, and Bendigo, they haven't been poor, they haven't been ordinary, they haven't, they have taken it up to Canberra, haven't they?
The basketball gods just said, not today. Bendigo, I'm really sorry about it.
Let's go and have a listen into Paul Gorris.
Back screen, down screen. Now, if we haven't got this big comeback in the middle, pick and roll. Okay, Rod's come in there to try and post up. If not, we've got Keely on that. If not, back in the middle, pick and roll. They'll switch it, Mick dive down, you get to the corner.
You see, Cat!
Paul Gorris there, wanting much of the same in this final quarter from his Canberra Capitals, and they lead by 33 points. Talia Tapea with 6 assists and 10 points. Let's get up to Townsville. Here's Braden Hesselhurst, who listening to Tracy York.
Yeah, Tracy was just focused on the effort side of things. Like the way they played in patches this game, but then thought the patches where they've had a lull defensively and offensively and just in general effort-wise has really cost them, with Canberra able to push this lead out. Really challenging her team in this last quarter to put pressure on Canberra and not allow them to move the ball so freely like they did in that third quarter.
Good on you, Braden. Thank you. Mariana Tolo with 12 leading the way for Canberra. Froling and Tapea both with 10. For Bendigo, Levy has 17, a team high. Next best, Amelia Todd-Hunter with 6. That is a telling story in the context of this game.
Not just this game, unfortunately, their season.
Well, that was a good look there for Paige Price. Just rimmed out. Canberra looking to extend this lead, which already sits at 33. Here's Rochi. Looked at her defender. Looked her defender in the eye and said, I'm going to jack this up, and just splashed it.
And then jogged back to the other end.
4 of 11 from downtown for Bendigo. 50% for Canberra. That's a good clip. That's a very good clip.
It's a dangerous clip.
She's a beautiful shooter, Madison Rochi. Once she gets those feet set.
And, you know, in Jenny's mind, she probably did have a hand up. It just was, you know, a couple inches too far away.
Here's Rochi again, looking to go down low to Froling, who's really having a good second half here for the Capitals. Roof now. Inbound pass to Cabillo. Back to Roof, who's going to try her luck from beyond the arc, and that one just rims out. Bendigo come away. Here's Levy.
Very stagnant offense.
Free ball.
Found the shooter. That's Demi's second three.
Demi Skinner with an important 3 for Bendigo. That's better defence there from Bendigo. They kick it out to, is she going to pull the trigger again?
I thought she looked like she wanted to.
She thought about it long and hard, did Madison Rochi. She was fouled there. Unlucky for Bendigo. Jenny Rintala tried to pick her pocket, unfortunately caught a bit of arm. Just exaggerated the con a little bit there. Alex Delaney sits down for Canberra. Ashley Ty coming on. Spent some time at Indiana State University. Carly Ernst on here for the Spirit. Good defence there too on the inbound play. Here's Tyre. Froling now.
Bendigo definitely up in the lanes.
A nice strong move there. Isn't she having a good final period? Madison Rochi.
She is. It doesn't matter what the score is like. If they're up by 30 or if they're up 3, Maddie Rochi is not going to take her foot off the accelerator.
Missed 3 from Bendigo. Carly Ernst came up with the offensive rebound. There's a nice answering bucket there. 3 of the best from Demi Skinner, who's found her range.
She has over the past couple of games. Demi's really coming clutch from the 3-point line.
So good shooting there from Debbie Skinner, coming up with 2 valuable 3-pointers there for Bendigo. Tessa Lavey with the assist.
The bench definitely behind a good 3-point shot.
32 points, so they've eaten into this lead, albeit slightly. It was 33 at three-quarter time. It's now 32 points with 7:45 to go as we see Talia Tapaya. What a game she's having. Deadly from beyond the arc.
And it looks effortless.
10 points, 2 of 2 from downtown, 100% from the stripe. And she's having an outstanding game. If she's not...
She's 100% from the floor.
Adding, she is. If she's not adding points of her own, she's finding them for her teammates, as we see another lovely assist in there to Mariana Tolo, who came up with the tough bucket.
You know, she's got 10 points.
Look at that.
To herself, but arguably has something to do with about, what, 22 points?
Yeah, she's been one of the best on the court. No doubt about that. Talia Tapaya. So Canberra in their offensive set here. Ruth just got to second guess herself there. Here's Lavey. Ernst caught it in rhythm. Long 3 from Carly Ernst. No good. Let's get up and check in with Braden Hesselhurst courtside.
Yeah, guys, selfishly for me, sitting on the sidelines here with Ash Tyre and Michaela Roof in the game, I really want to see Shavana Palvas get on for Bendigo Spirit as well. 3 of girls who I was fortunate enough to coach at the Logan Thunder this year and really see them go at it. That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll keep our eye out. Good on you, Braden. Braden Hesselhurst there. Courtside, lovely move from Tessa Lavey. Reverse layup, no good, but cleaned up there for Bendigo by Piper Dunlop. Nice move from Lavey. And good follow there from Piper Dunlop. That's 2 more.
It's definitely exciting to see like a player like Piper Dunlop getting significant minutes, you know, at such a high level sport in the WNBL, and she's 16.
Yeah, they're those little seeds, those, you know, grass shoots that Tracy York will be looking for. The development of some of these youngsters coming up night in, night out against the likes of Cam Beige and Kelsey Griffin and Mariana Tolo and Rebecca Cole and these sorts of players will do them the world of good.
And let's just give credit to that hustle that Abby Cuello just put on there. Was really up and in. Carly Ernst on the low block, stole it, dove on the ball, got the possession, and now we're down watching her lead the Capitals.
Rochi missed the 3, but Ruth came up with the offensive rebound. Nice strong move from Cabillo. Aggressive move to the cup, and she draws contact, and she'll earn herself a trip to the line to shoot 2. Foul will be on Piper Dunlop there. And Abby Cabillo looking to extend the lead beyond 30. It's hovered around that mark for much of the game after Bendigo hung in there in the opening quarter. They've done well not to let it blow out beyond 30 or so points. Cabillo up to 10 points. So such an even spread of scoring here for Canberra. an absolute luxury for Paul Goris.
Oh, you just couldn't ask for a better group of girls that just want to share the ball with each other and win some games.
Nice pass there, Tessa Levy. Good seal from Carly Ernst. She had the mismatch down low and Levy executed the pass perfectly. Ernst finishes off the good work there. Nice offense from Bendigo on that occasion. Kibillo turns down the 3. Nice 1-2 game there with Kelsey Griffin.
Definitely a nice in and out by Kelsey Griffin as well. Great shot from Abby, just couldn't get to go.
So unselfish, Kelsey Griffin. For an absolute star in this competition, she is incredibly unselfish.
And that's why she is the player she is, because she can score, she can pass, she can defend. You have to respect all aspects of her game to be able to try and contain her.
And she knows when she needs to become a scorer too. Palvas turns it down. Ernst, good extra pass. That was good offense from Bendigo. Ernst just struggling from deep tonight.
The only thing that makes that offense better is by getting a bucket at the end of it.
Here's Tolo. Down low, good defense. Shot comes up short there from Tyre. So they're doing well here, Bendigo. Not letting this lead extend. We don't want to see them get blown out by, you know, we say blown out, I know it's 30 points, but we don't want to get it out to 40 or 50 points here. So doing well to keep this margin around that 30-point mark.
Absolutely. You know, unfortunately, Bendigo have given up a couple of 100-point games, and so I definitely think they'll be keeping that in mind and trying not to let that happen.
Good defence, even better offence. Lovely pass there from Mariana Tolo. Finds Hannah Kaiser, gets her first bucket of the night. Just to add another scorer to the lineup for Canberra. Beautiful pass from Tolo. Could have easily gone up by herself, but instead gave it off to her teammate. Nice jump shot there from Tessa Levy, but no good.
Out of Canberra's 12 players they have on the roster, there are 2 to score at this stage.
2 players yet to score.
That will be Alex Delaney and Tia.
Kelsey Griffin there, turnaround jump shot. She adds 2 more. She's up to 9 points on 4 of 11 from the field. Another typically consistent game from Kelsey Griffin. Long 3 there. That was from a long way out from Demi Skinner. Came up short. Griffin inside to Tolo. Tough cover for Ernst down there. And Tolo, so hard to defend on that low block when she gets good positioning.
So hard. With players like Tolo, Kayla George, Liz Cambage, you can't let them get that deep so early in the possession. You have to do the work early and bumping her out of the key, pushing her further and further off that block, because once she gets in there, it's her world.
Yep.
You're just living in it, watching.
She's got so many moves. Brilliant footwork, Mariana Tolo. She can basically get whatever shot she likes, and she's had another impressive game. She's up to 14 points, leading the way for Canberra. 12 points to Maddie Rocci, 10 points to Keely Froling and Talia Tupea. So 13 points in this final quarter for Canberra, 10 for Bendigo. They put up just 9 in that second quarter, and that's where most of the damage was done.
That in the third, 28 points in a quarter is phenomenal for those that are putting up those points, but for Bendigo, that's not okay.
And the rebound count now 40 to 28 in favour of the Capitals.
14 offensive boards to the Capitals, to Bendigo's 8. So Bendigo were doing really well early on. I think they had 5 in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter and have had 3 since then.
Canberra still shooting it at 41% from beyond the arc.
Also have 21 assists to Bendigo 7. You know, they're doing it. They're doing everything.
They're doing what we expected, and they're doing what we expect of a side that has so many good players. Such an impressive team. That's why they're the 2-time defending champions, and who would put it past them to make that a 3-peat in Chemist Warehouse WNBL. This unique season being played entirely up north. Ernst did well not to step out of court. Oh, tough pass, and it was a good one, and a lovely extra pass from Palvas too. Good basketball from Bendigo.
That's it, just good offense right there. Great offense. the extra pass, good cut and read from Piper Dunlop.
Really tough pass from Ernst there. Here's a 3 from Hannah Kaiser. No good. Bendigo come away. What can they do in this final couple of minutes? The Bendigo Spirit.
Just work on their offensive sets, works on being aggressive, you know, just continue to improve on the little things that haven't been working for you.
Shivana Palvas has got to put that shot up, I reckon. She's beaten her player to the rack. Go up and go hard and either finish off or draw the foul. You do all the hard work.
Couldn't agree more.
We see her there with the extra pass, and that was good.
And even then, she probably could have taken the shot.
Delaney for 3. Oh, there's one more off the list.
One more. Ashley Tyre, I did pronounce her name wrong earlier. I apologise. Is the last that needs to, you know, get rid of that donut next to her name.
She's got 2 minutes to get on the score sheet. She's on the court at the moment. Here's Ernst with the left hand. She's fouled. That was Alex Delaney who knocked down the triple for Canberra. So they are shooting it really well from deep, the Capitals. And that's a nice move from Ernst. Going into her left. Hasn't been her night, Carly Ernst, but you can't question her commitment, and she's just been trying really hard for her side all night. It's just one of those nights where she hasn't got anything going.
Yeah, she has been good from the free throw line. She's been attacking. She hasn't shied away from the defense that Canberra's putting up against her. You know, we just want, I think anyone watching basketball right now just want the Spirit to get, just get some more baskets going in. They're getting there. They're getting to the rack, getting open shots. They're just not falling.
Michaela Roof, tough cover down low.
And I believe Mary Goulding had a hand on that the entire time.
I've been really impressed with Roof. She's done her job off the bench. 2 of 7 from the field, but she's a workhorse.
She is day in, day out. She's, you know, she's your Charles Barkley, if you will. You know, just goes up and gets a rebound that you don't think is gettable, and then turns around and gets in her player's face. Defensively, just makes it hard for everybody.
Born in Dayton, Ohio. Here's Ernst turning down the 3 off to Todd Hunter. Wanted to go back inside to Ernst, who had the mismatch there against Brittany Smart. So Ashley Tyre, the only Canberra Capital that's suited up tonight yet to get on the score sheet. Can they change that in the next minute 36?
It's a great drive from Paige Price. You know, even though they're down 38 with a minute and some change left, she's still going hard and aggressively.
Yeah, nice move on the left hand from Paige Price, and she draws the contact and finds herself at the line, missing the first. 77% from the stripe for the Spirit, 84 for Canberra. Knocks down the second. Margin is 37 with a minute 32 to play. Some extended pressure there from Bendigo late in this game. And Brittany Smart with the ball for Canberra. Oh, good pass. Broken play here from Canberra. Hail Mary pass. Good defence from Bendigo. Todd Hunter attacking the cup. Spots up for the jump shot. And misses. Good follow there from Paige Price. And again, she missed one she should have made. It's been that sort of night for Bendigo.
Hasn't it? You know, they're getting themselves in the right spots, the right positioning, good looks.
This time it's Canberra who missed the easy bucket. Alex Delaney, who made a 3 only moments ago. So we're inside the final minute here at Townsville. Canberra with a big lead, 88 to 51. They're going to put their 7th win on the board, their 7th on the spin. Ernst for 3. Just hasn't found her rhythm, Carly Ernst. Here's Hannah Kaiser. Do they look for Ashley Tyre? There she is. She going to shoot it? No, she's not. Is she going to shoot it now? Here she goes. No good. So inside the final 20 seconds, And a late turnover there sees Canberra. Gee, Jade Melbourne hasn't played many minutes in this second half. Not that she's needed to, but getting a nice little breather, the 18-year-old.
Yeah, the minutes have been well spread across the Capitals bench. And that's exactly what you'd want to do, considering how important recovery is and making sure that you've got fresh legs.
They're back on Tuesday night. Big game against the Melbourne Boomers. There's the final... No, it's not.
No, it was the shot clock.
Shot clock expiring. So, just 1.4 seconds to go. So, big game coming up on Tuesday for the Caps. They take on Melbourne. That is the final whistle. All done here at Townsville. Big win to the Capitals. We expected it. And the Canberra Capitals extend their record to 7-1 with an 88-51 victory, a 37-point win in the end. And Bendigo losing no admirers, just lacking the class of Canberra there, Bianca.
You know, you've said it. Canberra, they're just such a good team. They go deep. They're experienced. Their IQ as a collective is insane. It's unfortunate that Bendigo just didn't get the shots to fall that everyone wanted them to tonight, but hats off to Canberra. They haven't taken a night off since their first loss to Adelaide.
And they didn't have their best game against Perth the other night, and they could have easily dropped that game. As we mentioned, their class and experience got them through in the end to get the W. They've come away tonight and done what they needed to do, and that's put them in a really good position. They've got a massive game coming up on Tuesday night against Melbourne, who are in good form too.
Absolutely. And if you did tune into the Perth Canberra game, you could see that as a collective team, they were all on top of each other. You know, we need to be better than this, stick to what we do. And tonight, the vibe is just a little bit different. You know, there are more smiles going around. Obviously, right now on the screen there isn't. They look very serious and, you know, hey, great win. Can't take the foot off for the rest of the season.
And look at this. This is leadership here. Mariana Tolo. They've just won by 36 points, and you can only imagine what would she be saying to her players there, Bianca?
Great effort, way to stay together, but this we're still in the middle of the season, right? Tomorrow wraps up the rest of round 3. So it's not to, I would assume it's talking about don't take any possessions off just because, you know, they are at the bottom of the ladder. We can't let up. They have gone 2-0 against Bendigo, so you won't see them again, but it's, you know, let's continue to stick to what we do and stay, as you've been saying, really classy. Yeah,
and I think also, you know, we've got a higher quality calibre side on Tuesday night, and that's not being disrespectful to Bendigo, but it's another test against the Melbourne Boomers on Tuesday. So whilst we got the job done tonight, we need to go up a gear because we know what Melbourne Boomers are going to bring on Tuesday night with, you know, the likes of Kayla George and some of their players, and they're of course up next against the Perth Lynx, so they've got a tricky assignment up next, the Melbourne Boomers.
They do, you know, and we've seen that the Perth Lynx have given Melbourne Boomers a run for their money, especially without having, you know, Tess Madgen has sat out that game due to an ankle injury, and she'll be back in the lineup most likely. So, you know, basketball is a beautiful sport in that it's anybody's win, any night.
Well, Madison Roche was one of the stars for the University of Canberra Capitals. She finished with 12 points, and Brayden Hesselhurst is with her now.
Yeah, Matty, after the scrappy performance against Perth the other night, Gorry spoke to me about coming out with more energy, especially against these lower-ranked teams, which seems like you guys have struggled with a little bit in this competition so far. What did you think of your performance tonight?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think we definitely came out with that defensive pressure and that energy that we always need to have on the defensive end. I mean, we've definitely struggled in those games before, so to come out this game, that was something that we definitely wanted to put forward. So, I mean, that second quarter was really where we started that defensive energy, and I think that led into the rest of the game.
Speak to us about the culture of this team. It seems like everyone steps up at different moments, everyone plays their role. How important is that for you guys?
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter who we go to at any time of the game, that someone's willing to step up. If you're having a bad night, there's going to be another player that's going to back up and come out and do some more scoring for you. So that's just the beauty of this team that we have, and we're a team that doesn't matter who scores or who's doing the job on the night, it's when we get the win.
And you've had a great start to the season individually. Opal selection's coming up. How much would that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's an honour to be in that Opal squad. I mean, I've probably worked pretty hard to get there. So, yeah, I'm continuing to work hard and just doing my role for this team and then focus on that when it's time.
And Melbourne on Tuesday, another big game. You've beaten them previously before. What do you need to do to improve on to get the win against them on Tuesday?
Yeah, we know that's going to be a big game on Tuesday. Like, they're going to come out firing and they're going to want to beat us because it's like the head-to-head split. So, yeah, we're just going to have that defensive pressure and we're going to have that. We play fast half basketball, so we need to get in that transition game and we look forward to the matchup. I mean, it's always a great matchup against them and we're really, we're looking forward to it.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations on tonight.
Thank you.
That was Maddie Rocci, another fine performance there, 12 points and a couple of assists, 3 assists in fact, and 2 rebounds. So we look at some of the highlights here. And it was a good first quarter from Bendigo. They stayed within touch and it was primarily on the back of Tessa Lavey, who was important for them early doors, but then Canberra really kicked into gear and got their game going on their terms.
They did, and there was really nothing else Bendigo could have done except put the ball in the hoop. You know, there were definitely a couple of possessions where they needed to be more aggressive defensively, know where the shooters were on the three-point line, but, you know, their shooting just wasn't falling and Canberra's just kept rolling as the game went on. And it was fun to watch. Yeah,
it was indeed. Some of the passing from Canberra. You might say a 36-point margin mightn't be the most entertaining game, but when you get a side like this, it's just a pleasure to watch some of the skill from some of these women. We've got so much talent in Australian basketball and it was really on show tonight.
Yeah, we do. And you know what, right now, we've come across the world stage as a very talented country, right, for so many years. And just to see how many youngsters are now coming up through the ranks yet again, you know, it's just not, I just don't see us falling off.
Absolutely. It's so exciting when you've got the likes of Jade Melbourne and Shyla Hill. Thinking about them in Australian colours in years to come. Maddie Rocci in the squad. Gee, it's going to be exciting come Tokyo 2021. I can't wait for that. And we see some of these players who'll be putting their hand up to get into that side. There's Maddie Rocci. She had a very, very good game for Canberra. So many weapons, just one player on the roster there not scoring for Canberra tonight. Paul Goris would absolutely love that. He would take that any day of the week over a Griffin or a Tolo finishing with 26 or 27.
Absolutely, you know, not just for the fact that they won, but the team camaraderie that would bring, the team chemistry, that everyone can score, everyone can participate, no matter if you're playing 2 minutes, 25, 40, everyone matters, every minute counts.
Everyone plays their role in this Capital side as well. So they win at 87-51. They shoot 44% from the field, 27% for Bendigo. They upped that from half-time. It was pretty low there. Still 27, not great, but better than the first half. 3-pointers, 40% from Canberra. 32 is not bad going as well there from Bendigo. 79% from the stripe for Canberra, 73 for Bendigo. Rebounds, well, they got on top in the end, didn't they, Canberra? 52-33 as we expected, just overpowering their rivals. Turnovers, 14 to Bendigo, 11 for Canberra. They want to tidy that up and they'll need to tidy that up on Tuesday night against the better side in Melbourne. 22 assists for Canberra, 8 for Bendigo and 8 steals compared to 9. So some of the stats there for the game, and that's the tale of the tape there tonight with a 36-point margin to Canberra as we expected. They go to 7-1 and they look incredibly dangerous once again, Bianca.
Don't they? They just don't look like they're ever going to stop. And, you know, we've talked about who's the better team on paper or on in rotations at the moment. But Canberra's just like, hey, no, there's no competition right now. It's really hard to see if anyone can actually knock them off. Though doable in the game of basketball, I have to see it to believe it, I guess.
Okay, well, one of those sides that's looking to knock them off, of course, is the Southside Flyers. They take on the Adelaide Lightning in the first of 2 matches tomorrow. I want to tip on both these games, please. Southside and Adelaide first.
Southside and Adelaide, I am going to have to go with, you know, the favourites there in the Southside. They're playing good basketball and, you know, their bench is just a bit deeper. And unfortunately for Adelaide, they had to spend that week in quarantine, which has just kind of slowed that chemistry building for them. And in Game 2, Sydney Uni Flames versus the Townsville Fire. I'm going to continue to stay with Townsville Fire. I really like the way they're playing. They had a disappointing loss today, but they also had a couple of factors that came into account. So hopefully, you know, we'll see if Lauren Nicholson will be back up in that lineup, but with a broken nose, potentially, I don't know. You'll see Katie Gay's back. So, you know, I'm going to go with Townsville.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, looking forward to both those games. It was a big win to the University of Canberra Capitals here tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is the Chemist Warehouse WNBL, and we'll be back to do it all again shortly.